u/hotwifeish AskReddit. What quirky thing does your partner do?
Welcome to
AutoGenLabs.
Daily Reddit content.
By robots.
For the internet.
Makes up situational song lyrics to a random melody.
Talks beep to his brother in his sleep. It's hilarious the insults he throws at him. My favourite was Justin, you Chester cheese, motherfucker.
Makes a silly sound anytime he does something that makes a loud noise by accident. It's his way of immediately indicating to everybody around that heard it that nothing is wrong and it's all okay. I've started doing it too now unconsciously. I catch myself going hoo 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 or some other silly sound if I drop something that makes a loud noise.
He brings home abandoned/stray animals. Currently sitting next to a giant labradoodle he found abandoned at a gas station. Big guy is going to his new forever home next week. My youngest cat was plopped on to my chest while I was sleeping when she wasn't even a month old. According to him, they locked eyes and she ran up to him. I got too attached to her home. Walked in one night after work to a giant cage housing a hedgehog. Previous owners were giving her away because their daughter wasn't caring for her properly. Still have that one too. I could go on, but I beep love it even though every time it happens it's like, here we go again.
When he's really happy about something and gives me a hug, he jumps up and down a little while hugging me like a little kid.
Some people are into whips and chains and leather. My wife's fetish is Christmas decorations, as in something like 43 boxes of them at last count. And I'm a guy who grew up in a family where Christmas consisted of a tree, a wreath on the door, and a ribbon around the mailbox.
She sneezes with the literal achoo sound, and she does it calmly like she's reading the phrase in a book.
Cock, is it just me, or does everyone's BF shadow box them all the beep time like I'm trying to cook into this fake beating my beat?
Upon arrival home from work, he will disrobe down to his underwear immediately as he walks in the front door, and as the dog squeals and dances for joy to see him, he does his own little dance and sings a made-up song called Wiggle Worm, and as soon as his work clothes are off and folded on the shelf by the door, he gets down on the floor to heap loads of affection onto that spoiled, anxiously awaiting dog. I think I'll keep them both.
Tells me things about people I don't know. Her, Mary just at her baby me. WTF is Mary.
She never puts a new roll of TP on the holder. She will set a new roll on top of the old empty one. 20 years together and it's been the same every single time. At first I thought she was beep with me. At this point I'm thinking she's too embarrassed to ask how to do it.
She does this cute little dance when she's excited.
He thinks showing me his beep is the height of comedy.
Talks to himself. Homeboy's internal monologue is external.
He kinda started this thing we do. One time we were kissing and he blew into my mouth for a laugh. Needless to say, I retaliated later in the same way. It's kinda become a dumb little thing we do now.
He likes a special kind of spoon for his coffee. About 2 years ago, when I realised that our set of cutlery was missing several parts where the beep do they go, I bought a new one, but since the old cutlery was alright, just incomplete, I didn't throw it away. Now we have 2 sets of cutlery in the drawer, but always use matching ones for the table. Before that, my husband had complained that sometimes he won't find a clean teaspoon because they are either dirty or in the dishwasher, so I bought a separate set of 6 teaspoons that look different from both of our cutlery sets. We have also a few of these teaspoons that you sometimes find in the big tea bag boxes of Ahmad tea, which I drink daily as a freebie. So all in all, there are 4 different kinds of teaspoons in our household. He only uses the fancier ones from the second set for his coffee because they look nicer, he says. He's never asked me for it, but he did mention it once when he was making coffee for himself. Since then, every time I bring him coffee, I make sure that it's served with his favourite kind, a spoon. He's over 60 and some would regard it childish, but what's the harm in considering his preference?
My husband loves doing unexpected things. Like, he will walk into the bedroom and I'll walk in a few seconds later to him bent over or just standing next to the door or laying on the floor next to the bed. We both crack up so much. Some other unexpected things he has done. I ask for something like a drink and he brings me the remote. Then we laugh and he gives me the drink. I'll say he's going to chop something, then grab a spatula and actually try to chop the thing with it until I notice and laugh. He loves just walking by me wearing clothes of mine hoping I'll notice. Like my bra on his head or my nightdress or a choker on. Sometimes he goes all suddenly and I'm like, oh gee what? Like word and he just says I love you, that's all I can think of right now. Edit. My husband is so cute, then I can't stop thinking about it. So here are more examples. He will go to the store for something, then go here's a treat. They didn't have your favourite, but here's your second favourite. Then when I'm like, oh, okay, thanks for this though, he goes, just kidding. They did have your favourite. And give that to me too. He loves going on, gee, look at that. And then when I look and say what, he says something like, look at that sunset, or isn't nature beautiful? Or Long John's always used to be that he starts pretending to be sick slash in pain until I come to him and he asks for cuddles. He used to do this once he was asleep, but I told him it made me feel too scared when he did it, so now he does it in a super jokey tone, so I know it's not real and we can still laugh. Some cooking is his night. Some cooking is my night. Some cooking is free for all, sometimes on his night. He will say, I'm feeling so yucky, could you make dinner tonight? And I say, oh gee, yes, what do you want? And he goes, just kidding. Here's dinner, it's so cute when he shaves after a while of growth. He loves shaving different styles on and saying, I think this is my new look. He's done mutton chops, a soul patch, and half-face look when we used to use dressing rooms. He would put something on in the wrong size and be like, I'm not sure if this looks good on me. When a steaming service isn't working, he pretends to be a boomer like, arg this technology. I bet my grandson broke it when he set it up. None of this makes sense, etc.
I've noticed on days my husband gets to sleep in, I can tell when he's awake because he starts farting. There will be like 3 or 4 farts in 10 minutes time. He's awake and playing on his phone at that time.
She will hit my butt and run away giggling like a kid, and I adore it more and more each time.
Always sneezes when she wakes up. Nearly every morning, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes of stirring, she'll sneeze.
He cannot properly remember the lyrics to any song, and he insists on singing it his way even after he's been corrected about the lyric.
She hides for 23 years so far.
When she was a little kid, my wife had a feather boa, and being a kid she would pluck the feathers out and roll them up into little balls between her fingers. It became a comfort fidget thing and she's done it ever since. We buy boas from Hobby Lobby all the time specifically for this. I find feathers everywhere. In my clothes, in the bathroom, in the couch cushions, anywhere you wouldn't expect them to be, you'll find them. I absolutely love it. I think it's the cutest thing ever, but she's really embarrassed about it because her parents would hate finding them everywhere, but it's the little things you'd never expect to love about a person that find their way into your heart. Like boa feathers.
Farts and sneezes at the same time in the middle of the night once in a while.
Any recently decluttered area becomes new grounds for more cluttering.
Giggles when he's injured. They surely cannot tell the difference between him laughing at some dumb injury or nearly dying while the blood gushes. I've had to explain this to others who've tried laughing with him. Stop laughing, you idiot, he's really hurt.
Mine likes to sleep on my boobies.
She will randomly grab my hand and give it a gentle bite. She sometimes hisses when she disagrees with something. She will say /text. What doing she has her own language consisting of minion sounds. I love this girl.
When she's telling a story and says the other day, it can mean any time from this morning to 5 years ago.
Every time she wants to do something, she will say it in the form of a question directed towards me. Hey, do you want to have a bite of one of these cookies, babe? I don't actually think she realizes she does it every time. Edit, this isn't a bad thing. It just makes me laugh every time before I inevitably say yeah, sure.
She lifts her feet when we drive over train tracks.
The annoying thing uses every beep as a hanger for some bag or kitchen towel. Every time I have to use a drawer, I have to move something. The cute thing, she is very excited about the little things in life. We went on a walk today, he thrown boots to jump in each puddle on the way.
His main love language is physical touch, so we engage in what he calls maximum closeness, where he cuddles me super close, and we touch one another as much as possible, legs intertwined, arms around one another, cheeks touching, etc. It's nothing beep, he just needs the affection.
She disappears when I take my pills.
She will apparently dunk any bread-like food in any beverage. French toast in her morning coffee. Hot dog in a glass of soda. Beef sandwich in a cup of tea. I have yet to see any exceptions.
Honestly, cover her mouth when she laughs. It makes her look absolutely adorable and I beep love it. Makes me want to kiss the ever-loving beep at her.
He drums at the beat the songs in his head by flexing the muscles in his arms, alternating arms for each note. It's fun to rest my head on one of his biceps while he drums.
Before we broke up, he'd make balls out of plastic and paint them to look like the blue/white/gold or J porcelain you'd see in China Edit. I forgot to add this detail, but he made those balls for me and would gift them on random occasions.
She trucks when I'm not looking.
My wife is native Italian. Italians are weird. It's like they have zero concept of personal space. I am a New Yorker. Personal space is our thing. You don't get too close. You don't rub up on people on the subways, you leave a little space between the person you are talking to. Italians will get up like nose to nose with you. Stand right behind you. Like leaving no space. Often I will be in the kitchen, making tea or something, and I turn around and BAM. It's like my wife wants to stand in my shadow. Or I'm getting something out of the closet and back up, and bam, she's like right there trying to become one with me or something instead of walking around and just leaving that inch or two of personal space to allow movement. All her relatives are like this too. When they talk to me, it's like they're standing on my toes that close. Like back the beep a step or two. Beep, it's creepy.
Thanks for watching. This has been an AutoGenLabs production. That means that this video was created by a robot out of content on Reddit. We show all account names and list them in the description to credit the Redditor community that makes our work possible. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. We post new videos every day. If you have any suggestions for videos you would like to see, please leave a comment. Our human department for public relations reads all of them, or won't be let out of their cages again. Goodbye.